Well, this isn't a video I wanted to make. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been a while. This isn't the usual video I make, but I feel like it needs to be done. I don't feel like enough people are coming out and talking about this in a way that they probably should be. As many of you probably know, I'm a Canadian, have been my whole life, born and raised in Canada, Ontario specifically. Please do not come to my house and kill me, or do. Unfortunately, there's been some controversy around Rogers and their subsidiary Sportsnet, specifically Sportsnet's premium subscription service, Sportsnet Plus, where for the correct amount of money that Sportsnet and Rogers deems fit to take from you yearly so that you can watch a bunch of grown men slap pucks into a net with sticks, and once in a while maybe win a Stanley Cup. Somewhere in the world, there's a Montreal Canadiens fan who has paid upwards of $200 a year to watch like not even 50% of NHL home games, which Sportsnet has the rights to. So the big drama right now is that Sportsnet has once again, for the second time in 2025, the date as of recording this is July 13th, 2025. As of January, Sportsnet has raised their premium service subscription from $149.99 Canadian a month to $199.99 a month, which already is ludicrous enough because of the situation in Canada, and most people don't have the recreational income to fund or support their ability to watch hockey, unless you're somebody who purchases cable. Now, cable is a controversial thing in and of itself because it in and of itself costs upwards of $100 a month. Understandably speaking, I am somebody who is part of the quote-unquote middle class in Ontario and in Canada. Unfortunately, I do not have the recreational income, and I know many people who do. I've never been a paying Sportsnet Plus subscriber. I just want to put that out there for the record. I am, however, somebody who has used the service. To put it into perspective for you, I am a Canadian. Again, I drink Tim Hortons because I'm Canadian, and I'm not a boohoo loner that sits at home all day in his mom's basement. I go outside and I purchase coffee. Coffee, for those of you in Canada will know, in Canada, there's a Tim Hortons event called Roll Up the Rim. Roll Up the Rim is a little, promo contest that they run every annually, where you can win prizes. As of late, they've been doing it digitally. I received digitally a 6 months Sportsnet Plus premium subscription free of charge. I used the service. I thought it was great. I could watch my hockey anywhere on the go, anywhere I needed to, live. The first time I used it, it was great. The second time I used it, I couldn't because it told me that the hockey game that I attempted to watch for the Toronto Maple Leafs, big shocker, I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs hockey fan, based on the attire and, Ryan O'Reilly, who no longer plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because why the hell would he? Because he's kind of a bum. You heard that right. I don't like Ryan O'Reilly, but that's neither here nor there. Understand that I'm not coming from a place of wham boo-hoo, I don't have enough money to pay for this. Why the hell is Rogers creating a monopoly when they are a multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar corporation? Who knows what kind of shady business dealings goes on with Rogers and their subsidiaries? Because for those of you who don't know, Rogers is one of, I believe, 2 of the main telecommunications networks in Canada. There is 2. There's Bell and Rogers. As far as I'm concerned, there is Bell and Rogers. Those are your 2. You want to get your phone hooked up today? Great. You have 2 options, Rogers or Bell. Well, I don't like Rogers and I don't like Bell. Tough titties. Guess you're not getting phone call, because those are your options. Oh, but what about TELUS, Koodo, Fido? Guess what? All subsidiaries of one of those 2 companies. In the United States of America, as far as I'm concerned, it is a crime to create a monopoly and corner a market. As far as I am aware, you can correct me down in the comments below if I'm wrong, but creating a monopoly in Canada, for all intents and purposes, from what I have understood, there is no law against it. Therefore, why you have your 2 telecommunications companies, Rogers and Bell. Now, the specific one we're going to talk and bash today is Rogers. Rogers owns Sportsnet. It is a subsidiary company of Rogers. Sportsnet had announced at some point within the last month that they're going to be raising their subscription price again for the second time this year from $199.99 a month Canadian plus federal and provincial tax to $249.99 Canadian plus federal and provincial tax. What the actual fuck is that shit? So pretty much what Sportsnet just did was they took out their massive schlong, slapped you across the face with it, and said, you're going to like it and you're going to pay me. And if you don't like it, too damn bad. You want to watch hockey? Well, I guess you're either going to have to break the law and pirate our service, or I'm going to take out my massive meat hammer, slap you across the face with it, and then after you're done, you're going to take out your wallet and you're going to swipe your credit card. And if you don't like it, you can always go do it the illegal way and pirate it and commit a crime. This is when I make the argument. Here, I've already got strong views on if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. If I buy something, if I pay for a service or I pay for something that I'd like to watch, use, play, anything, or listen to, or anything of the sort, and at any point in time, a rights holder can revoke my purchase, the item or service or media that I've purchased, and take it away from me at any time in their end user license agreement or anything like that, then in my personal opinion, and honestly professional opinion, piracy isn't stealing if buying isn't owning. Because you can't say that something that doesn't belong to somebody, if they pay for it, is a personal property of theirs, then you can't say that somebody who doesn't pay for that same thing can be accused of stealing it. How are you supposed to steal it? If you can never rightfully own it in any way, how are you supposed to steal it? This is where I say, okay, so Sportsnet, you have given me one of two options. Pay for your service or pay for your service. Well, that's not a lot of choice, is it? So in reality, you have three options. Pay for our service, watch your hockey. I hope you got enough money, Jimbo. Or you don't buy it, you suck it up, and you watch the Sportsnet live recaps on YouTube. Boo-hoo, I guess. Not a great way to watch your hockey. You want to watch your hockey. You want to watch the first, second, and third period. You want to watch it as it happens. Or, option number 3, is you boot up a legal website, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you watch your hockey free of charge, in somewhat decent quality, in somewhat decent convenience. And you don't get Big Daddy Sportsnet and Big Daddy Rogers slapping you across the face with their big giant meat hammer of, give us your money. As of right now, Canadians do not have a lot of recreational income. It's been a problem for the last 10 years. Yeah, haha, funny. Do the math. Canadians haven't exactly been the most wealthy individuals. According to a news article I read, which I will not source because I cannot remember, and take this for a grain of salt because I don't have a source, the middle class in Ontario, where I live and what I am considered, are considered poorer than the poorest people in Louisiana. For those of you who don't know what it's like to be poor in Louisiana, congratulations. Louisiana is the poorest of the poor. Louisiana's poorest people are the poorest people in the United States. The middle class in Ontario are poorer than them. So imagine what our poor people are like. If our middle class is struggling to afford the basic necessities, food, rent, heating, how are they going to fork out $250 plus tax for their hockey? I'm a Leaf fan. I understand that if you want to go to an NHL hockey game featuring the Toronto Maple Leafs, you are going to be putting a down payment on a home. That's an exaggeration, but you understand what I mean. You're going to be forking out a lot of the dough to go and watch those boys probably blow a 4-1 lead. Proud Leafs fan, by the way. I was very, very proud of them for beating the Senators. And I'm also very, very proud of them for taking Florida to Game 7, which this past year, no other team had taken the Florida Panthers to Game 7. And I believe if the Leafs would have done it, they would have gone all the way. But that's just standard Leafs cope and propaganda, and that's not why we're here today. Just thought I'd make it a point. I'm sorry, it's in my blood. I have to. We need to start boycotting these companies that are creating monopolies and honestly price gouging the citizens of Canada, because Canada's options for streaming NHL hockey games are this: Sportsnet Plus, Sportsnet Plus, Sportsnet Plus, and Sportsnet Plus. Those are your options for streaming. Pick one. Oh, probably wasn't a very hard choice. Sportsnet Plus. Or you get the secret option, the secret option that nobody in their right mind should ever use. Piracy, which is easier, cheaper, most of the time free, and easier. Because believe it or not, now Sportsnet Plus, if it was a perfect just utopia, all 82 games a season, right, perfect. You're paying like, I don't know, $3.50 to watch a hockey game each time you watch it, assuming you watch every hockey game. And if you miss one, you're charged $3.50 anyway. $3.50 to watch a hockey game on your TV or on your phone doesn't seem unreasonable. But when you look at things that you use more, for example, I use Apple Music. I pay $12 and something, irrelevant amount of cents per month to listen to Apple Music. I probably listen to like 100 hours of music a month. Like, it's insane. And I only pay $12 and whatever irrelevant amount of cents Canadian a month for that service. I'm going to take the time to watch just the home games. This is where I'm at an impasse. So there is no current way in Canada to legally, other than cable, which we're phasing out here, there's no way to stream live on the go from wherever you are on your cell phone. Mr. House jump scare. There's no way to watch your NHL hockey games, away games, stream them on your cellular device in Canada. But Mr. M&M LP, there's ESPN, NHL Center Ice. Well, guess what, Jimbo? We can't get ESPN Plus here in Canada because we don't have American addresses. We have Canadian addresses, meaning we cannot access these services, meaning the home games, if you are just blatantly streaming all of your hockey, you cannot legally obtain the rights to watch and view those games. And to that I say, bull honky shit poop. Not good. As of making this video, I do not believe Steve Dangle has made a video on this topic, or SDPN for the matter. I highly encourage them to do so. Not that my opinion matters. I'm just dude sitting at home on the internet talking to the camera. But I highly, because for those of you who don't know Steve Dangle, if you're a Leafs fan, you know Steve Dangle. If you're not a Leafs fan, you probably know Steve Dangle. He's the guy who made the video about the 42-year-old Zamboni driver that works for the Leafs that beat them. Yes, the 42-year-old Zamboni driver that works for the team beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. He made a video about that. So if you're not a Leafs fan, you should know damn well who he is. Yelly, screamy guy who sits at the camera and yells about the Leafs. He should be making a video about this. He has prior experience working for Sportsnet, and he should have a personal problem with this. And if he doesn't, he probably has NDAs, which I understand. He has insider secrets, probably, that he's not allowed to share. Sportsnet should be boycotted. Anybody who's buying a Sportsnet Plus subscription or the premium subscription, cut it off. I'm not condoning piracy, and the only reason I'm not condoning piracy is because it's against the law and bad. You should not pirate your NHL hockey games. You should not pirate anything. But, theoretically, if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. It's currently the only way to stream on the go NHL Canadian away games. Away games outside of Canada, I should say. Oilers at Toronto, I can view that anywhere because it's Oilers at Toronto. I can watch any of the NHL teams, in Canada. The problem is ESPN for Americans gives them multiple more games a season than Sportsnet Plus will give Canadians because there are more American teams than Canadian teams, meaning there will be more away games for these American teams that Americans will be able to view. not the ones that TSN broadcasts, because that's a whole new chestnut that I'm not even going to touch on, because TSN is, honestly, in my opinion, TSN is a much better broadcaster, and I enjoy watching their feeds much more. It works better, sounds better. I highly, recommend TSN in the future. Go out and get these rights, because Sportsnet is currently taking your ability to watch hockey and screwing you. They're taking your ability to watch hockey and they're screwing you. They're charging you $250 Canadian plus federal and provincial tax to watch less than 50% of hockey games that your team plays. That is wrong. That is creating a monopoly and saying, too bad, so sad, go find another service. You can't. That is wrong on so many different levels. I should not be gatekept to a service that I paid for to less than 100% of NHL hockey games. I feel bad for people who have been diehard hockey fans, Oilers, Leafs. I'm very diehard Canadian. I love my country for all of its faults. I love my country. And I don't want to see Canadians. Hockey is Canada's sport. We've proved it off and on the ice. Hockey is Canada's sport. To see Canadians want to watch and view the sport that is rightfully theirs and being shafted every single time they go to watch or try to watch an NHL hockey game is despicable. If I watch the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Dallas Stars, I should be able to do that with my Sportsnet Plus subscription if you're charging me $250 Canadian plus federal and provincial tax. If you're charging me $150 a year, I should be able to watch 82 games out of the 82-game season. And not less than that. Certainly not less than 50% of those games. There are different subscription plans. It's not just, $250 plus tax. Obviously, there are lesser options you can get. But unfortunately, these lesser options you can get are made obsolete by the fact that they're still more than the premium service was less than a year ago. It's despicable how these companies will say, hey, you have no other way to watch this, so you're going to pay our price or be shit out of luck. It's disgusting. A point I'm going to make, and this is probably going to be a whole lot shorter than I thought it was, thank God. Stop paying for Sportsnet Plus. Most of their money, if not all of it, goes to Sportsnet Plus. It doesn't go to your favorite hockey team. It doesn't go to the organization that your team works for. It goes to absolutely nobody. It goes to Rogers. Rogers is a billion-dollar corporation that 100% does not need you to give them $250 a year to watch like 3 games a month that they actually give you access to. If 3 games a month. They will charge you for 12 months. And I'm not sure how it works, because when I started my Sportsnet Plus subscription, during that little promo I won, I started that in, I think, April, and it carried out until the season was over, essentially. And it didn't leak over into the next season. It lasted through the off season. Meaning, if I was to pay monthly, they would keep charging you monthly, even when the NHL season is not currently active, which is wrong. If you start your yearly subscription in September, good for you. If you are able to if $250 is a piss in the pot for you, then this video is not for you. This video is for somebody who is enraged by the fact that a multi-billion-dollar corporation does not care about its consumer. They say $20 billion in profit in the last year. Or they had $20 billion in profit from their Sportsnet, from Sportsnet itself. That's not including people who have their phone bills. I have my phone bills with Rogers. I pay $38 a month for a Rogers subsidiary company to make phone calls, communicate with my place of work. I use it to communicate with my my friends and my family, and I give them $38 a month. That's fair because that to me is an essential part of my life, and that's $38. Why are they charging $250 for a service that provides me less value than a cell phone? That provides me less value than a $12 and something cents Apple Music subscription that I use every single day for hours. This is why companies shouldn't be able to make monopolies. This is why Microsoft was scrutinized so hard. And I am an Xbox user. I am a very, very avid Xbox gamer. I love all things Xbox minus Halo. Never really got into that. I understood the outrage from Sony PlayStation users and Nintendo users when Activision was acquired by Microsoft. When Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft. I am a big Fallout fan. So Bethesda being acquired by my boys was a big deal for me. But I also recognize that there are people on the other end of the stick, where there's people like Sony who I also understand that there are people like PlayStation users and Nintendo users that shriveled up a little bit, that their hearts shriveled up because they realized that they weren't going to be able to. There's a possibility, just because there's a possibility that they might not be able to play their favorite games because they're going to have to go out and fork out money for a new Xbox or a PC just to play their favorite games. This is the same situation for Sportsnet. Sportsnet acquired the rights and their contract got renewed. $11 billion over the course of 12 years, I believe, is what their share is to be able to, what they're giving to the NHLPA to be able to have the rights to certain NHL games, not including Monday Prime games and not including TSN games and ESPN games. $11 billion for 12 years. This has to stop. I'm not going to start one of them cringy change.org petitions because they don't work. They don't work. But what you can do, what does work, is stop buying services that are actively screwing over the major and general populace of Canada. Stop feeding into corporate greed. Stop feeding into price gouging. When companies have the mindset of, oh, it doesn't matter what we charge people. I call it the Nintendo effect. It doesn't matter what we charge people, they're still going to buy it. If people want something bad enough, they'll find a way to make up the money. That's pretty much about it, I would say, for this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you like what you saw, you probably won't see a video like this again, and I hope I don't have to make another video like this again. But please subscribe. I do Fallout content. I do other content. I hope the situation improves. I'll see you all in the next one.